Now, let me back up a little bit. Spring football for us just ended. And obviously today we went out on the road recruiting. And spring was an extremely interesting spring practice. It really was. There was a lot of competition going on at a lot of different places. Obviously everybody wants to know what's going on at quarterback. And it was a it is a very, very healthy race. And I've told people on many occasions right now, when we're ready to name a starting quarterback, I'll come back to Tampa and tell you guys first, okay? But when we're ready to name a quarterback, and I don't know when that'll be, we're going to do that. And what we're in the process now is really going back over spring practice and really revisiting everything at every position. And we're kind of in the process of meeting with all of our players. We did that for the remainder of last week. We finished last Monday. For the remainder of the week, last week we met with the players, and this week we'll continue to do that. And but it was a really, really extremely competitive spring practice for us. And one of the things that we always try to do when we measure the success of the spring is obviously, did certain guys win positions? Is there a lot of question marks left? Those are the things that you'd like not to have a lot of question marks. I think most of our questions got answered. But one of the things we always look for at the end of spring practice is injuries. Did we come out okay injury-wise? And I really think that this time last year was a little bit hairy. We had 2 or 3 season-ending injuries right near the end of spring practice. And this year was much different, and we're just very lucky. We came out very, very healthy. And we were beat up and bruised up and nicked up, just like you'd expect yourself to be at the end of 15 days of beating on each other. But it was a very productive spring. So, you know what? Again, we don't have any. And here's what I try to tell everybody when I go to these meetings: is we last year built a foundation the way we wanted to build it. We started just like if you were going to build a house, you would start with that solid that foundation. Okay, and you build that, and then every year, and then how do you build that house? You go to the next step, the next phase. You construct that house so that when you're done with that house, it's a very beautiful structure right now, and it stands for a long time. And there's really, I don't want to make it just too simplistic, but that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build this thing from the bottom up, and we feel like after 1 year of being here, that we're in the right direction. And what I try never to do is paint a picture of doom and gloom, nor do I want to paint a picture of delusions of grandeur either. I think we're somewhere in between still. And I said that last year at the same time because I didn't know who our football team was. I didn't know. I mean, you can sit there and say, well, you have talent at this position, but you don't know your football team until you go through all the highs and lows. Let me tell you what, we were as high as you got, 5-0. And then, 3 games later, all right, everybody was saying, oh, can they come back? Can they do this? They did down. Are they going to be able to resurface? And then, all of a sudden, we may come back and beat Ole Miss and play better near the end of the year. So we know our football team better right now. There's no question about it. But what we feel good about is the foundation that we laid right now in terms of those kids knowing what we expect. Last year it was make sure you take your earrings out, pull your pants up. When you come into the building. You're taking baby steps. And now there's absolutely no gray area in what they know. Not what we want, it's what we expect. And we're not coming down on that standard. So they know all that. And so all of those little things that, a lot of people think might not matter, they do matter. Because when you're building the structure of that house, you got to make sure that the foundation you laid is absolutely 100% set, or you get cracks in that foundation. We want to make sure that that's not what we're trying to do. So we feel like we've got that laid. And then we went out and worked our rear end off when it came to recruiting. And as you know in this league, you have to find a way, you have to find an edge, you have to find something different. And I'll tell you what, I've got 9 assistant coaches that work their rear end off, and they're really good at their training. They're really good at what they do. And, obviously we feel like if we get a guy to Auburn so he can see Auburn and experience the Auburn family, then we'll always have a shot. So challenge for guys from Florida or from Louisiana, Arkansas, or wherever that's out of state. Our challenge is just to get them there. And then what happens when we get them there is you people sell all. What does that mean? Well, when they come to a spring game right now, they see 63,000. I mean, enough said. And so we kind of embarked on the recruiting trail right now. We didn't walk into any place and say, hey, well, what, okay, so I know he's going to school A, give me what you have left, or tell me what you got left. That's not what we did. We said, who's your best guy? Tell me about your best guy. If he's your best player, then we went and did our homework to find out if he's the right player, because they're not always the same. I can walk into school with your best player, he's not the right guy for all. And if they don't have both of those qualities, we're turning around and walking out. And we did that. We did that with some really, really good football players, because at the end of the day, I got to be able to look myself and everybody else in the mirror and say, you know what? We evaluated it to the best of our ability, and he was the right guy, to the best of our knowledge. It does not set well with me or anybody else if I know he's not the right guy and we take him anyway because he runs a 4.3. That's not what we're trying to do. There's somebody out there that might run 4.45 that is the right guy. And at the end of the day, those are the ones you count. So that's how we went out and recruited. And every one of our guys know that when they bring a guy to the table right now, I just don't want to know how big they are. I just don't want to know how fast they are. I just don't want to know how many yards they rush for. I want you to tell me who the guy is. I want you to tell me when you walked into the school right now, not only did you go to the coach, you went to the principal, the English teacher, the janitor, whoever you went to right now to find out who this guy is. Because at the end of the day right now, I don't want more than one opinion. And so as we finished up on the recruiting trail, we felt like this class is a really good class. We won't know anything as we all know, we won't know anything for 3 years. But in terms of doing our homework and getting what we thought was the best guy that was the right guy, we think we hit it. So again, right when recruiting ended on February 3rd or 4th right now, the next day I was back, here we were at it again. And it's just never ended. It just never ends.